name's Cheryl King. I'm General Manager of Markettiers MENA Dubai. So we were lucky enough to win the Best Digital PR Award for our campaign with DMCC. We were really excited to win gold for this award. It was, I think, testament to all the hard work that all of our team had put in for it. It was pretty much a groundbreaking campaign in terms of what we delivered, because we know that digital is very much at the heart of this changing landscape that we're in, and at Markettiers we evangelise the power of broadcast and digital. So what we delivered for DMCC was it's very much an innovative campaign from the get-go. We were briefed on how we can essentially help and encourage businesses in the UK to encourage them to set up shop here in Dubai. So it was kind of very much an open brief, and our challenge was, how can we make this interesting? How can we deliver something that's not been done before, and how can we deliver something that's pushed the boundaries of what is possible? So we went away and we did some market research with our sister agency Opinion Matters, and we researched what was the business sentiment like and appetite like for businesses in the UK to expand their operations overseas into Dubai. So we looked at things such as, what is the business sentiment like in a post-Brexit, post-Trump administration environment? Perhaps unsurprisingly, we found that lots of businesses were keen to consider expanding overseas in the current wake of everything that was going on. So we took all of those different insights and then we delivered a full broadcast campaign with it. So first thing we did was we delivered top tier interviews with the CEO of DMCC to programmes such as Radio 4 in the UK, also Radio 5 Live, BBC World Service. And then we delivered a live stream, which was the most, I think, the exciting thing. And our rationale for delivering a live online broadcast was that we knew that their audience lived on LinkedIn. So we wanted to deliver a live stream to the C-suite audience, and everyone's very time poor, but LinkedIn indexes very highly with that audience. So we delivered a live and interactive broadcast, all on this research. It was hosted by Declan Curry. He's a former BBC Breakfast presenter, and for over 20 minutes in our studios, the team discussed this new research and talked and had questions coming in from a live online audience about their own questions about setting up their shop business over in Dubai. So the actual campaign itself was really well received. We had so many different leads coming in. And one thing that the DMCC tasked us with was generating 50 leads from businesses in the UK looking to set up in Dubai. We actually delivered, I think, 250 in the end, which was great because it meant that everything we were doing had a tangible ROI to it. It wasn't sort of a fluffy PR campaign that perhaps gave them a bit of coverage, but it actually delivered on that front, but it actually delivered hard business data at the same time. So the key objectives for DMCC was to raise awareness of what DMCC does with a UK audience, but also to actually encourage businesses to ultimately set up their business in Dubai. So that was a key indicator for them, and we're also tasked with generating 25 leads from what we did through the PR campaign. So measurement was key. We shied away from kind of AVEs and everything, but we knew that ultimately the successful PR campaign is ultimately down to how well it delivers to the business bottom line. So ROI for us was really important. We did that by actually doing quantifiable sales generation leads. So that's why our live stream tactic worked very well in terms of our mechanism for delivering those results. So every single person that watched that live stream was then documented as part of Google Analytics. So we had data in terms of number of live views, so number of people watching our live stream. We had data in terms of where they were from, what their dwell time was, so we could work out how interesting the content was. Then we also had data coming back in terms of how many people asked questions. So in terms of our results and measurement, we measured it on all of those different factors, with ultimately the success of the campaign being how many people actually submitted a question in and had qualified as a lead in terms of being interested in setting up their business in Dubai. I think that we had a big challenge from the get-go, really. It was, how can we encourage businesses to actually not only just be interested in what DMCC is doing, but actually ultimately mobilise a behaviour. So that was quite a key part of our activity. Not only are we actually just trying to get people watching a stream, to get people tuning into the radio, or get people listening or reading a newspaper to understand what we did as part of it, but we actually wanted them to do something. So actually mobilising that behaviour was a key challenge of the campaign, and something that we looked to address as part of our strategy. In terms of how we actually overcame those challenges, we wanted to be very clear on who our audiences was. So segmenting our audience from the get-go was very important. So we knew that people that would be possible to set up their business in Dubai will be the kind of C-suite level. They're going to be SMEs, but it will be the business decision maker in the SMEs. So we needed to target these very niche audiences, but by segmenting that audience straight away, we knew that we could find these UK business decision makers, and we did a bit of an audit in terms of what their media diet looked like. So we sort of reverse engineered the campaign, because once we knew where our audiences lived, we could then work out how we could get to them. So through our research, we found out that they were very time poor. These were the type of people that will be up sort of 6 a.m, half an hour before everyone else. They'll be the people that are watching the agenda setting programs and listening to the likes of Radio 4 in the morning. They'll be the people tuning into Sky News. And they're also the people that are very active on their mobiles. They're very active on LinkedIn. And also they're consuming media in a very quick, easily digestible way. So everything we went back with had to play into this very clear view of who our audiences was. I think the key highlights for me was really just seeing everything come together. So I was really proud to deliver the live stream to LinkedIn. I believe it's the first live stream that's been delivered to LinkedIn in the region. So we're really proud to be sort of pioneers in that respect. I was very proud as well about how our two offices came together, because although we're primarily located in Dubai, we worked very closely with our London office. So when we were doing our sell-ins, it was very much a collaborative team effort, and working very closely with the CEO and the team at DMCC to bring it all together. So I think ultimately we were proud of everyone's effort, and the fact that we continued to kind of be restless in our approach. We weren't sort of content with doing things the tried and tested routes, and digital was a huge part of what we did. I think the strategy, we nailed it on the strategy. That was why it was so successful. So the most successful thing about the campaign was the way we approached it. I think it was all the research and the background legwork that we did at the front end of the campaign, because once we had a clear idea about where our audiences lived, we could then actually create a campaign to reach them. So I think the LinkedIn live stream was particularly effective because there was no audience wastage. Everyone watching that live stream was a UK business interested in expanding overseas, or they were a C-suite person with the capabilities to decide the direction of their business. So from an audience wastage perspective, doing it via LinkedIn was meant that we actually hitting the nail on the head in terms of getting the right people, making sure that the content was on message and interesting enough to engage them, and making sure that they were ultimately hoping to kind of move their business over to Dubai. So I think our real success of the campaign was ultimately seeing all the leads come in afterwards. I mean, getting kind of 4 times, 5 times more leads than what was required and set out to us was amazing, and seeing all those leads that come in was brilliant. I think all the data that provided also gave DMCC further leads to actually then convert themselves and ultimately see an uplift in the businesses applying for a DMCC license.